Okay, so it's time to get into some new Daiwa baitcaster releases, and it looks like Daiwa Japan has come out with a new bait finesse reel or finesse baitcaster, whatever you want to call it. And no, I'm not talking about the new Alphas BF that came out in early December. I'm talking about the 2025 Steez Limited CTS VTW. And let's check out this footage. Look at that. Bright, shiny silver. I like it. Now, it's not metallic-y chrome looking like Shimano's Antares. It's actually silver with a lot of metal flakes in it. Here's some video of the reel in action. And yeah, that was a short and sweet little promo video, but hold on, we're gonna see another one. And this video is gonna give us a real close-up look at the new Steez Limited, and it's from Platt. I'm not sure what this is. Are those employees? They don't look Japanese. Okay, there we go. So you can see that in the video, the spool, the handle, star drag, and trim pieces look black, but in these pictures they look like a root beer brown. And there we go. You can definitely see the metal flake there, and you can definitely see just how shallow that spool is. That is bait finesse shallow in my opinion, at least from back in 2016. And some really shaky camera work. Haven't they heard of a tripod? But you can really see the metal flake in the paint job. And on this frame, I think it looks awesome. That is definitely a shallow spool. You can see that the T-wing is now black or gunmetal gray or whatever, but it's normally gold on a Steez. Daiwa's upper end reels will have a gold T-wing. And yeah, definitely root beer brown components. Should have been a shiny black in my opinion. So just in case you guys didn't know, Daiwa has given the limited treatment to every Steez since the first generation. Now the first generation Steez Limited was like a dark chrome, and then the second generation Steez Limited was more of a color like this. And they're probably showing made in Japan with the serial number. And then obviously now the CT model is given the limited treatment. There's a spool with the rotor and brake system. You can see very shallow. There's a line capacity. Now that rotor looks pretty big to me. But I would love to get one of these reels, but I'm going to show you 2 reasons why I highly doubt I'm going to get one here in just a moment, as soon as this video is over, which looks like it is finally. So now let's go to Daiwa Japan's website. Alright, so here we are on Daiwa Japan's website, and we're going to do a deep dive into this Steez Limited. We will just go straight to products, reel. We'll go to bass, and there we go. Right here, Steez Limited CT SV TW. Okay, let's check out these pictures real quick. Yeah, definitely a root beer brown color for the spool and trim. Wish it was black. But they're giving this Steez a 70 designation. Now, with Daiwa, it's not like Shimano when they put a number on their reels. Daiwas tend to number their reels by physical size. But yeah, look at that. I love the chrome knob end caps that match up with the almost chrome like paint job. But let's read about it. It says the evolution of Steez fills anglers with joy every time they cast. Okay. Steez Limited CT SV TW is the culmination of the CT, which equals compact and tough concept, the Limited CT, which is equipped with a 30mm CTSV spool made of G1 duralumin, the smallest diameter in the SV Super Versatile Concept series, has deliberately narrowed down the line capacity and limited the maximum amount of line wound. This is nothing other than the ultimate high response that achieves excellent high rotation performance that can handle ultra lightweight rigs of under 5 grams. So definitely bait finesse territory. Anything under 5 grams, in my opinion, is bait finesse. Now let's continue. It is also a challenge to tournament anglers who pursue unprecedented low trajectory performance. The appeal is the shift change that changes drastically from the versatile range centered on 10 to 13 pound fluoro line to the bait finesse range, at times using 6 to 8 pound. So they even mentioned bait finesse. Now furthermore, it is assumed to use PE line, and its compatibility with shooting jigs, small frogs, topwater, plugs, cover attack, etc. is even more extreme. Now, I'm going to pause here. It's funny that Daiwa says they're going to assume that people are going to use braid with this reel, but when you look at the promotional video, and Daiwa has a really long 10-minute video on this reel, both of the pro staff that are fishing this reel use straight fluorocarbon. No braid to fluorocarbon leader. Okay, so to continue, it says, by deliberately setting a limit, the more intense and specialized low trajectory cast feel can be the best in the CT Concept series. The tapered TWS, newly developed for 24 Steez series, is installed and does not interfere with the line release. Blah, blah, blah. By obtaining a release performance that is greater than that of conventional sizes, it has overwhelming line release performance without any trouble. As a result, it marks an outstanding flight distance even with a compact cast that makes use of only a light swing and snap. That's definitely a bait finesse style of casting. Blah blah blah. So there you heard it. They're claiming outstanding flight distance. So if we scroll down, we'll see the usual overwhelming amount of Daiwa marketing, hyper this, hyper that. So of course, being a Steez, the hyperdrive design is going to be the first level, where it has the hyper digi gear, the hyper arm housing, the hyper tub clutch, and the hyper double support. Now in the lesser hyperdrive Daiwas, the hyper double support is not going to be there. Alright, so not only is Daiwa overusing hyper, they're using ultimate. Okay, let's check this out. So SV concept. Now when Daiwa first came out with the first SV reel, the T3 SV, back in I think 2013, SV stood for stress free versatile. Now they switched it up to super versatile concept. So instead of stress free versatile, it's super versatile. All right, here's some more information comparing the spool size. Okay, here's the spool right here. You can see it's very shallow. New T-wing. All right, so here's something interesting. It says comparison of spool weight after winding. The spool weight after winding is approximately 23% lighter compared to the 2019 Steez CT. Lower inertia for a lower trajectory cast. And in this picture, it looks like they're using 12-pound fluoro. So obviously with the shallow spool that holds less line, it's going to weigh less than a deeper spool. And according to Daiwa, once both spools are filled with 12-pound fluoro, the limited spool is 23% lighter. Now, they didn't give us a spool weight, but I think I remember watching some of the Japanese YouTubers with the Steez CT SV when it came out several years ago, and I think the spool weight on the reel is like 8 grams. So definitely well into bait finesse territory, at least for bass fishing, and I wouldn't be surprised if this shallower limited spool is even lighter. Okay, so they're boasting an 8.5 to 1 gear ratio, which is the fastest in the CT series. And just like with the Alpha's BF, they're saying that the zero adjuster doubles as an oil injection cap. Okay, they're claiming a newly designed aluminum star drag. And yeah, if you blow up the side view, the arms on this new star drag are definitely thicker at the base versus a older Daiwa. Alright. Okay, so here's a feature comparison with the 2019 Steez CT, and the upgrades are that the limited will get the tapered TWS, drag is the same, brake system's the same, spool diameter is the same, spool material is the same. Obviously right here you can see the limited has much less line capacity, 8 pound 50 yards. So that's definitely bait finesse spec right there. Alright, well, look at this. The limited is actually heavier by 10 grams. That's like 3/8 of an ounce. So looks like the handle length is 5 millimeters longer, which will contribute to that weight. But also, I think the new drag star will contribute to the weight, but number of bearings the same. Okay, we don't care about what the pro staff has to say because they're getting paid. Alright, release date February of 2025. So that is literally a week away. Now I'm not sure if it's the beginning of February or the end of February, but let me show you why, even though I love the looks of this reel, I'm probably not going to get one. First reason, look at the spool. Now you're wondering, what does this spool have to do with anything? We got to go back to the regular Steez Limited, which is still for sale, by the way. And let's go to this one. Looks like there's two. If we look at the top, we blow this up. What does that say? SV Boost. Okay, so let's go to the other Steez Limited. I don't know why there's two. This one, I think this is the shallow spool version. It's got a silver drag star, silver spool, but this also says SV Boost. So the CT Limited does not have SV Boost. And why is that? Now, for anyone who's new to this channel and you don't understand what the big deal is, SV air braked reels struggle in casting distance compared to their competition, especially against Shimano's. So that's why Daiwa decided to come out with the boost to give these reels a little bit extra casting distance. And you would think that they would put it on this new CT Limited, but it's not there. Or they would have proudly printed SV Boost right on the spool, and you'll notice it's not in the feature set. Nothing about boost. Now I wonder if there's a size limit to the SV Boost they can put on a reel, meaning maybe they can't put it on the spools that have the really small diameters. But that's just my theory. But the second reason why probably not going to get this reel is right here. This is the third most expensive Daiwa baitcaster with an MSRP of 82,500 yen. So yeah, that is noticeably more expensive than the standard Steez Limiteds, and even more expensive than the Steez SV TW100, which sells for $750 here in America. Now, if Daiwa somehow brought this Steez Limited CT over here to America, it would be an $800 reel. At least that's what they would want for it. But let's go over here to Digitaka because they already have the reel listed. And it's always fun to see what's being sold. Looks like someone bought a Calcutta Conquest Shallow Edition 1 hour ago. Is that one of you guys? But anyway, they have the reel listed on Digitaka, and it's not going to be quite 800 bucks. But as of today, the current exchange rate, we're looking at $492.97. So any Daiwa fanboys watching this, are you going to get this reel even for $500? And it doesn't even come with a boost spool. So what about this reel is worth $500? And you know, I'm a bait finesse fiend, and I'm struggling to look at this reel and wonder what is worth 500 bucks. And then if we go over to Shimano, of course, we have the new mighty ALDEBARAN DC, which was announced, same concept as the Steez Limited finesse bait caster with a 30mm spool. And even though it's not available yet, $360.27. And we're talking about a reel which is also made of magnesium, is lighter, and has digital brakes. I'm probably going to do a separate video comparing these two just to get everyone's opinion. But if the Steez Limited was about $150 cheaper, I would definitely be getting one. But yeah, there we go guys. The new Steez Limited CT SV TW. Let me know in the comments if you plan on getting one of these beautiful reels. Alright guys, thanks a lot.